Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today we will get lost in the pages of David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. David Copperfield, written by Charles Dickens and published in 1850, is a semi-autobiographical novel often considered one of the author's most personal works. Dickens himself referred to it as his favorite child among his novels. The story chronicles the life of David Copperfield from his early childhood through to his maturity, capturing his struggles, relationships, and personal growth. Written in the first person, the novel provides an intimate portrayal of its protagonist's inner life, while also vividly depicting the social and economic realities of 19th century England. Plot summary: David Copperfield is born on a stormy Friday night in Blunderstone, Suffolk. His arrival into the world is marked by grief, as his father has died 6 months before his birth. David is raised by his doting mother, Clara, and their faithful servant, Peggotty. Clara remarries when David is still very young, and her new husband, Edward Murdstone, quickly brings a sense of dread and tyranny into the household. Harsh and unyielding, Murdstone subjects David to cruel treatment and sends him away to a boarding school called Salem House. Before leaving, David visits Peggotty's family in Yarmouth, where he forms a bond with her brother, Mr. Peggotty, and his adopted niece, Emily, a beautiful but naive girl with whom David falls in love. At Salem House, David befriends the charismatic and older James Steerforth, whose charm captivates him. But Steerforth's influence, though seemingly benign at first, carries the seeds of future heartbreak. After Clara dies under the strain of Murdstone's control, David's life changes once again. His great-aunt, Betsy Trotwood, takes him in after his stepfather's cruelty leaves him destitute. Betsy's no-nonsense attitude and affection provide the stability David craves, and under her care, he begins to rebuild his life. Betsy arranges for David to study in Canterbury, where he meets the kindly Mr. Wickfield and his daughter, Agnes. David and Agnes develop a deep friendship, though Agnes' calm and wise nature stands in contrast to the whirlwind emotions David often experiences. Mr. Wickfield's clerk, the cunning Uriah Heep, becomes a growing source of unease, with his false humility hiding darker ambitions. Heep is intent on rising to power by manipulating Mr. Wickfield's financial troubles, and his obsession with Agnes becomes increasingly alarming. David, meanwhile, pursues his education and apprentices in the legal field. He continues his friendship with Steerforth, unaware of the destruction his friend will soon cause. In a tragic turn, Steerforth seduces Emily, leading her to abandon her family and flee with him. This betrayal shatters the lives of those around them, particularly Mr. Peggotty, who is devastated by Emily's disappearance. Mr. Peggotty embarks on a long search to bring Emily home, hoping for redemption and reconciliation. As David matures, he falls in love with Dora Spenlow, a charming and delicate young woman. They marry, but their life together is far from ideal. Dora's childlike nature and inability to manage household affairs strain their relationship, and though David loves her dearly, he begins to realize that their marriage is built more on youthful infatuation than true compatibility. Dora's health deteriorates, and she dies, leaving David to reflect on the nature of love and the importance of deeper emotional connections. In the background of David's life, Uriah Heep's manipulations continue. He takes advantage of Mr. Wickfield's vulnerabilities and seizes control of his business. But Heep's plans begin to unravel when David's old friend, Mr. Micawber, who has been employed by Heep, uncovers his fraudulent schemes. Mr. Micawber's discovery exposes Heep's treachery, and with the support of Betsy, Mr. Wickfield, and David, they bring Heep to justice. The restoration of Mr. Wickfield's fortune and reputation brings a sense of closure to this dark chapter. Through these trials, David's bond with Agnes deepens. She has been a constant source of support and guidance throughout his life, and as time passes, David begins to recognize his true feelings for her. Agnes, quiet strength and unwavering love contrast with the fleeting passion he once felt for Dora, and in her, David finds a sense of peace and stability. The two eventually marry, solidifying a partnership that is built on mutual respect and enduring affection. As David looks back on his life, he reflects on the various people who have shaped his journey. He recalls the painful lessons learned through loss and betrayal, but also the profound joy that comes from love, friendship, and personal growth. Mr. Peggotty's long search for Emily ends in success as he finds her in a foreign land, remorseful and broken by her choices. They emigrate to Australia, where Emily finds a fresh start, away from the shadow of her past. David's career as a writer flourishes, and his experiences, both joyous and sorrowful, infuse his work with depth and meaning. The once insecure and frightened boy has grown into a man who understands that life is a series of trials and triumphs, each contributing to his understanding of himself and the world around him. As he surveys the relationships that have defined him, from the steadfast loyalty of Peggotty to the unconditional love of Agnes, David finds a sense of contentment and fulfillment. In the end, the characters who populated David's life have either found redemption or been revealed for their true nature. Steerforth dies in a shipwreck, his life wasted in selfishness and recklessness, while Uriah Heep is consigned to the punishment he so richly deserves. But for David, the future is bright, filled with the promise of love, family, and the wisdom that comes from facing life's challenges with courage and grace. Looking for more great reads? Be sure to check out other books by Charles Dickens. Find them in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Charles Dickens's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.